We're now going to move on to the quadratic formula. This one can be used with any of the equations. Why don't we just use this to begin with? Well, some of the techniques, like the factoring, are more efficient and they're faster. So when the trinomial A's, B's, and C's don't quite cooperate very well with the values, you can always rely on this particular one to save the day. When using the quadratic formula, you have to have your equation set up in the standard form. So that's ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. If your equation is scrambled, if the pieces are scrambled, then you're going to have to bring them back to this formula, this way of saying it. So if our 8 was perhaps on the other side, like if we had this as a plus 8, we would have to bring this back over to the other side before we could actually start this equation. A, B, and C. We're interested in those coefficients. So we're going to pull those out of the equation. This is why it has to be in this form, so we have all of our positive and negatives correct. So our A term is 5, our B term is 3, and C is equal to a negative 8. Now we can populate our equation. So x is equal to negative b, which is 3, plus or minus the square root of b, which is 3, squared, minus 4 times the quantity a, which is 5, c, which is negative 8, divided by 2 times the quantity a, which is 5. Now we just chug through the math. X is equal to negative 3 plus or minus the square root of 3 times 3 is 9, minus, okay, this is a negative, well, I'm not sure it's a negative yet. Minus 4 times 5 is negative 20. Negative 20 times 8 is a positive 160. And you can do a side calculation if you need to do your multiplication. Divided by 10. Our next step is to put together our like terms. So we can work underneath the radical sign. So I'm going to copy what I need to have in front of me. And now the work part starts. I can actually put this together at 169 divided by 10. If we can simplify the radical, that would be great. So we could do some side work over here so we don't confuse ourselves. Radical 169. Well, I know this one because I've been working with it all the time. This is 13 times 13. But you might know that 12 times 12 is 144, so it might be logical that you'd start as high as you know, or in the range of what you know, to try to see if you can get this. But 13 times 13 gives us 3 and 1, 9, 6, 1. That's how I got it, but I just knew this. So 13, I have a pair of 13s. So one of the 13s comes outside the radical sign as a whole number. X is equal to negative 3 plus or minus 13 divided by 10. Well, you can have two solutions out of these. X is equal to negative 3 plus 13 divided by 10, and x is equal to negative 3 minus 13 divided by 10. X is equal to 10 divided by 10. X is equal to 1. Over here, we have x is equal to negative 16 over 10. X is equal to negative 8/5. So here's one of our answers, and here's one of our answers. And that is using the quadratic formula.